After successfully claiming victory in the first Pyrite Colosseum match of his life, DeoGenZ and she walk across this rusted rickety bridge to talk to this guy. He looks suspiciously familiar. Well, at least his costume looks similar to the other ones we've seen. So, if I got the idea of that Colosseum contest, we now get our very own Shadow Poke. That should be pretty interesting, considering we've been recollecting everyone's Shadow Pokemon in Battle Square. I guess those were all the victors of the past Colosseums. Man, that must suck to have your prize ripped away from you. Hey man, I just earned that. Oh, too bad. Now I got a snag machine. Nice to see that the Macho Muscle Men aren't... Oh no! She recognized me too! Oh boy. Yeah, I kinda did. I don't know why I let him in. Because you're a Moroff. And you weren't in Phoenix City. That colorful trio of second-gen holders, that was the ones, Rosso, Verde, and Blue Dude, who went to Phoenix City with Miraby. Unless they posted wanted pictures up around this hideout, which they may have for my face. I don't know how he would know. Oh, but she knows that Yanma is definitely a shadow. So we'll take some precautions and get rid of the Pine Echo. Funny thing about Pine Echo, I didn't realize for the longest time that its name wasn't Pinecone. I guess dyslexia combined with I just didn't care about the pre-evolution of Fortress. I only cared about Fortress. I thought its name was Pinecone. I was like, wow, Nintendo's getting very lazy in naming these pokes. Next thing you know, they're going to have Ice Cream Cone. Oh wait, they did. But they did come up with a bit more of a clever name than Pinecone. That's fine. It can be a Pinecone, bristling with bustling defense force. Umbreon won't be phased. And hold your ears for a sonic boom! Oh, that's rough. Umbreon had to take that hit. Come on, it's got humongous ears. Almost like a rabbit. But it's not. It's a... Are the evolutions cats? I never could figure that out. Flareon looks sort of like a dog, but I think it's a cat. I'd like to see a comment on that. Pinecone. Nope. They keep fixating their attacks on Umbreon. Come on! Well, at least in this battle, you get to see how excellent Umbreon's defense really is. I don't know why they're not attacking Mischievous, other than maybe the fact they don't have another non-normal type move, which is possible except for that Yanma I know for sure has Shadow Rush. So, let's claim it per usual. And... Yumogwegwe Fai Mi Zao, you... Maybe I should have chanted a bit earlier. The dark magic here is strong. Although I was taking a bit of a risk, considering that Yanma's health is still in the pretty healthy orange range. It's a lot more orange than Umbreon's orange. No matter. Pesky Pine Echo. Hit the bricks! Or Shiver and Faint, that works too. So we get experience. Nothing for Mischievous. Nincada! Well, you've got a lot of potentially cool bug Pokemon, but Yanma has no awesome Yanmega evolution in this gen, so you're out of luck. Not to mention the rest of the bugs and grass types on your team were underleveled and under-evolved as well. It's really nice being on a platform with two fully evolved starters, because it's easy to start with Eevee. I mean, hell, Blue/Gary in Pokemon Yellow started with Eevee, and it could have went any sort of way with how he would evolve them. Okay, it wasn't any sort of way. There was actually an algorithm that lets you know, via how many times you lost and won to him and where you did, what his final choice for Eevee's evolution would be. But we start out with two of the coolest. So now we just have to make sure that Yanma doesn't use Shadow Rush anymore. You mo gue gue fi mi zao. You mo gue gue fi mi zao. You mo gue gue fi mi zao. Ah, I was so close. Definitely chanting earlier helped. I could feel the effect. No! I said don't Shadow Rush. You nincompoop. Do you want to stay in the clutches of that guy over there? Another Mr. Jumpsuit wearer? What is it with people in Pokemon games not knowing how to put on two separate articles of clothing, a shirt and pants? Nope, I need a jumpsuit. Not enough time to do evil and put on pants at the same time. I'm just gonna hop into one sack, zip it up from the back, so we're all noted by whatever color we're wearing. I suppose that these guys are just the grunts, which may make you wonder, then why, DeoGenZ, does it take you so long to get rid of them? The long drawn-out process in fighting these grunts is the restriction of power. You can't completely obliterate every enemy you cross, especially ones with a shadow poke. You have to keep a special eye to make sure the shadow doesn't destroy itself by shadow rushing too many times. And you also have to make sure that its partner doesn't do some idiot move to knock its own teammate out. And look at that. It thought about it. It thought about the discussion. It was like, you know what, DeoGenZ points something out. What if this Dumbo unleashes a move like Earthquake or Surf or something? Because Earthquake wouldn't really hit Yanmega or Yanma. Now I'm just mixing the names. Yeah, that's right. He doesn't give a damn. All these bugs are expendable. And he didn't even pay any attention to getting some of your other moves, I bet. Unlocking them all. That takes heart. And they just lock yours, Yanma, so he saw it my way. It's good. Now it'll be a lot easier to beat this guy. As soon as you move the pesky item off the field, which in this case is the Shadow Poke, I want you to sort of think of the Shadow Poke as a mine on the battlefield. It's very valuable if you can get up to it close, quietly, and defuse it and put it in your bag to sell it to Moira. But if you are too not cautious and people around you get finicky, it may explode on all of us, including itself, and no one will have a Shadow Pokemon then. See, Surskit doesn't like the idea of that. He's like, you took my Shadow buddy. Bring him back. Now he's gonna turn me into a Shadow Poke. Yep, it is no surprise. Don't be so bewildered by my masterful skills, man. It's useless. I don't stand a chance of winning. Now hold on. You're the one who brought him here. So they all run away. Oh, you're safe. I heard you entered this building. It had me worried. Duking, this is where they were giving Shadow Pokemon to the winners of the battle challenges. Shadow Pokemon? Those ferocious pokes that even attack people? Yes, they're giving away Shadow Pokemon to thugs for some reason. It doesn't look good. Some reason, just because it's fun. Grrr, they were using the Colosseum to do that. Big lady, my Papa's Pokemon was taken away by Mirror B as a prisoner. And you were just resting while he did this? He did what? Mirror B used a dirty move like that? It's Papa's Plusle. I'm so worried that they might be mean to it. What are they going to do with a Plusle? I mean, alright, yeah. Shadow Pokemon ideally are the ultimate power-up. But a Plusle? The thing can't even evolve. And unless you got a Minun to go along with it to do double battles. Well, yeah, we'll get your Plusle back, of course, because we're the anti-heroes here, so we got to fill in some of the hero, not so much of the anti. We've been doing a whole lot of anti by stealing other trainers' pokes. Now it's time to reunite Duking with his puny Plusle. Be careful as always. Mirror B might look like a clown, but his battling is all business. Alright, Mustachio Duking. I'll put up my dutes when the time comes from Mirror B, although I doubt I'm going to find him in this episode. This is his hangout, though. Ah, Hyper Mode. Shadow Pokemon, perhaps because of their own overwhelming power, may behave abnormally at times. They may engage in such behaviors as ignoring orders, even turning on their own trainers in battle. This I have named Hyper Mode. On the plus side, Hyper Mode raises the critical hit ratio of Shadow Rush. However, Hyper Mode also prevents the use of items on Pokemon. Hyper Mode is easily dispelled. Simply call the Pokemon by name. However, this method has a major drawback. Calling the Shadow Pokemon's name causes the closed door of its heart to loosen and even open. Further research is needed to be done. So that comes from the Ian Labs. Can we go in here? Of course not. Why would we easily be able to take the elevator up to the top where Mirabee is undoubtedly hanging out? Unless he's in that elevator down there, wouldn't that just be a complete twist of events to keep you on your toes? Nope, you saw the cutscene go to the top of this building, but now Mirabee lives in the belly of its basement. That would suck. We'd go to the top all the way, fight all these trainers, only to find nothing. Thanks to my past playthroughs, I can tell you that's not going to happen, but what a twist that would be. Trapinch. Whenever I see the 3D rendition of Trapinch, it reminds me of that Alien game. Alien Hominid? Is it Alien Hominid? No. It was some game where you play an alien. It looks like he's got a Trapinch face, and he kills everything. I don't know why he does, but everything. And you get to be that little dude wrecking havoc with all kinds of blasters and swords, machetes, and maces. Who knows what else? Hyper modes! So Hyper Mode is not as heightened as I was led to believe. The only way that you're going to get any benefit from Hyper Mode is if you use Shadow Rush, which, like I mentioned before, does have recoil damage, so that kind of sucks. This is a very imperfect process, the making of Shadow Pokemon and how they're powerful. If Shadow Form rose all their stats, or at least Hyper Mode rose all their stats, I would see how this could be useful. But if you're only locking them to one move, albeit that move doesn't have any weaknesses or resistances, but it doesn't have any super effectiveness either. It seems like you're nerfing Pokemon because you don't know how to train them. And that may be the case. It'll be interesting if we see further on through our game and research files that we uncover, if they can force evolution. If they can force evolution through closing the door of a Pokemon's heart, now that is power to be reckoned with. I believe that was the plot of the Team Rocket in the 2nd gen. Yep, I believe that's why they had the Mahogany Hideout. That's what they were doing at the Lake of Rage, trying to induce the evolution of Gyarados. Because, hey, who wants a puny Magikarp, right? Right? But these villains seem to be indirect and nondescript in many ways. They just seem to plunder random Pokemon that are about. But when you live in a wasteland like this, I guess there's no other choice. I guess you gotta steal them from somewhere, and you can't always have pokes that will evolve. Thus, the Plusle was taken. I think that was more of a respect thing that Mirabee did. You will respect my authority, I'm in your town, or however he speaks. Because if Mirabee wants to take over Pyrite Town, which he's doing a pretty swell job. I mean, Duking was sitting in his office moping for the longest time until Silva came and stole the gear from the Colosseum and we had to get it back. Imagine if none of that happened. What would he do if Silva still stole the gear and we never came to Pyrite Town? Maybe we thought, oh, Phoenix City's fine. I'm just going to stay here. They got a nicer Colosseum, not so many thugs, beautiful water fountains. What then, Duking? Would you just be sitting at your desk still? Weeping, moping? My Plusle's gone. I never battled with it before because I'm a weak big man. Oh, but nobody knows. That's why I don't talk about it. Maybe that's why he didn't mention it to anyone. He didn't want anyone to know that he had such a pathetic poke. Plusle, that's all you have? Really? And you're the mayor of this town? Not saying that ultimate power is needed to run a place, but it certainly helps when shady dudes like Mirabee are running around. Not to mention all the random thugs you have in this place. It's not like this guy keeps this up to snuff in building regulation codes. I mean, look at this. Holes in the walls. Looks like a Tyranitar came through here or something. On a rampage. Wrecked the place. No matter what, I can't use the elevator? Are you sure? You're right. I can't unlock it with a file. So we're going to have to either find a key or not go down this elevator right now. Move, Chi! We must heal our Pokemon! Ah, that's the thing about the 3rd dimension. No more do you have to pass right in front of the trainer's face. If you're in a certain circumference of them, they may just ask you for a battle. And this roller boy, I guess, was employed by Mirabee as well, to be a guard. Does he get shadow pokes? I think only the peons get them. And the peons are the guys in jumpsuits. These are just normal old thugs that still have Pokemon, of the many select few who do. As you can tell, he doesn't really have many opportunities to train them. And good, the sooner Flaffy comes to its senses fully, the sooner we could start using it more functionally in battle, take advantage of its electric moves more often. I don't know if I'm going to focus on purifying all the shadows now or later. I think it's going to depend on how the strategy of leveling up works for me. Once we get to the purification zone, I'll decide then. The only reason I say that is because if I'm recalling what I did in my original files, back when I was a Poke-noob, I did basically the same thing, basically the same strategy that I worked on for noobing it in the RPGs. Just training 3 main team members and leaving the rest of my team untrained. Yeah, Quilava wasn't too happy with it. But back in the day, I think Quilava was one of the few, I think, of Umbreon and Espeon that I actually trained. So of course, if you have 3 pokes, 2 pokes, or even just one main sweeper that is getting all the experience all the time, it's going to be massively over-leveled on everything. So you'll pwn almost all the time. But back in the day, I didn't know about the importance of getting all the shadows. The fact that I may never see them again. That's why I gotta go today to do the 100% walkthrough. Just trying to reclaim some shadows that I may have slaughtered in the past. Not making up for lost time or anything, but it'd be nice. It'd be nice to get them back. And something very cool about the transfers over the generations is that the Pokemon that I've gotten in this game, my original files worth, I still have on now my black cartridge. I haven't had the chance to transfer it to white 2 yet, just because I haven't unlocked any sort of PAL Park, plus I want to try and complete the Pokedex first on my own by just catching what's there. Try using that new Pokedex feature, the Habitat mode. See how effective it is. But from the 3rd generation games, I still have my fighting team. It's pretty cool to see what I was using back then. And I believe if you read the information of it, it will say this poke traveled from a distant land. Which is true. I have no idea where in relation to the rest of the regions this one may lie. Somewhere desolate. Somewhere desertified and dragged out. Yep, that's right. You are no match for someone like me. And with a quick heal, which is nice because they actually put a Pokemon Center machine there for you to use. How thoughtful of these thugs. We're back on to battling. Yeah, before we had access to this machine in here, we had to keep going back to either the Sheriff's PC to do the quick swap Poke Heal, or go all the way back to the Colosseum and use the Pokemon Center machine there. What a chip. But do be warned, if you decide to stick around Pyrite after completing this mission to train even further, any one that we fought on the way to that healing machine, which included the elevator guard, which I do believe you can sneak past her on the far side of the wall, and the roller skating boy. Roller skating guy, every time without a doubt, is going to battle you, so consider that. If your Pokemon are very much knocked out, and you can't really afford, because you do lose money every time, and remember, items, money, everything in this game is a bit more scarce than the RPG, so it makes it challenging and fun, but keep that in mind, because you don't want to go past him and lose all your team just because you wanted to heal them up. For the extra couple of footsteps it takes, and the time it'll take, just go to the Colosseum. It'll be a lot quicker and a lot more effective that way. Heal up there, and then go about your business. While you're taking on this mission, though, I believe he leaves you alone. He's like, alright, I get it. You kicked my ass. That's fine. But if you leave the building, that resets the events, and then he'll try and fight you again. As for the rest of the people in here, I don't know. I'm not sure if they will. I don't think they will, but you may want to give it a try if you're looking to have some extra purification via triggering the hyper mode here, or just pure experience. So this guy seems to be a water user. Nice to keep witnessing the game switching it up on us with the types. We're not just fighting flying types or ground types. It's all kinds of types of trainers, and it forces us to mix up our team accordingly. when it's necessary. And Carvana's kicked. Dead fish. Oh, that would be horrible. If some kid got a Goldeen as an egg and kept it in too small of a tank, then they saw it flipped over on its back like that, and they thought, oh, Goldeen must be sleeping. It's so comfy in its cozy little tank. No kid, you suffocated it with having too small of glass and not enough water. It's a Pokemon. It's gotta have a whole land space to roam in. Or at least a Pokeball, which is inexplicably infinite somehow. It would be funny if one day the creators of Pokemon said, alright, we're coming out and saying, this is the design for the innards of a Pokeball. That's right, you people thought we were being cruel. That's why we invented Team Plasma, to play off of that thought of cruelty, but we weren't. You see, inside a Pokeball, it's a luxury hotel. Well, I guess not all of them would be luxury hotels. The netball, for instance, might just be netting all around the inside of the ball, and they would just sleep on netting. Very uncomfortable. The luxury ball, now that's got to be a cool Pokeball. Normal Pokeballs, I don't know, could be pretty blank, could be pretty full. Imagine in future games if they kind of implemented the secret base idea from the 3rd gen, but for the Pokemon, so that you could explore the innards of each Pokeball, sort of how they do the Dream World now with the Black and White generation, sort of how you have that nice little area to customize. You can grow berries. I don't know if you could grow berries inside of a Pokeball. Probably not. No sunlight. But you could do other things. Have different accoutrements for the poke. It'd be really nice if it was something like Fallout 3 and you could purchase a Pokemon Center kit. I mean, you could purchase a science kit back in that game, but that was Fallout. This game reminds me very much of Fallout just because of the desert, which is funny, because I didn't know anything about Fallout when I first played this game, so now I have new memories to attach to it. And that's why it's always great to go back and play a game you haven't in a long time. It's not like reading a book that you haven't read in a long time. Books are daunting. All the words, letters, and different grammar stylings of the author to get reacclimated with. If the guy speaks in some kooky non sequitur language that you're just not familiar with from your everyday speech, it could be a hassle. A game, especially if it's a portable game, you could just play on the side, not pay attention to all the stupid conversations people have around you. It's great, and you can create new memories for it and get through it relatively quickly, unlike a book. Books are fast only if you're a good reader. And even then, you need the perfect conditions. You don't need the perfect conditions for a game. Game comes these days with its own lighting source, its own power pack, so you're good to play wherever. A book, you need light, you need a comfortable seat, you need sometimes eye enhancement devices. If you're anything like me, you can't see too great with just your own eyes. You need some kind of assistance. So books, very hasslesome. The game, you can get closer to the screen if you need. And your vision's already on the way out, so why bother? Who cares? Enjoy and see the most colors you can. You can only do that in games. Books? Sometimes. Only if they're nice pretty books. But to keep these battles from being boring, I'm going to cut the episode right here, and on the next edition of Colosseum Walkthrough, we will continue finding Mirror B.